Media, the means of communication as radio and television, newspapers, and magazines that reach or influence people widely. An influence so great that sociologists believe that media actually reflects and creates our culture, creating what is referred to as mediated culture. TV and radio personalities seem to almost become a trusted part of our families, but who is really responsible for the images and messages we see and hear? Who are the directing masterminds behind this influence? And perhaps more importantly, how did they get there?
We've had most of our announcers are veteran announcers who have been here for a long, long time, and they've been able to develop and become personalities. It's not an easy thing to do because you can get in here and your spirits can be crushed, and you never do anything. And a lot of times you come in and you feel good about yourself, and your ego can get so out of whack that nobody wants to do anything with you. So it's kind of like a tightrope. And I've been fortunate enough to be around some pretty good people. And for the most part, it's not because I've went out and dug these people up. I've had a chance to be around a lot of these people through the course of doing business, and I've seen how they react and interact with people. And so a lot of that is the personality more than the skill set.
First thing I look for is, do you look good on TV? Do you look good on camera? And do you sound? How do you sound? Right. That's important. How do you tell a story? Are you a unique storyteller? I'm looking for that. Are you creative in stand-ups in your live shots? If you are, that's the total package. But a lot of times you don't get the total package. So that's where the subjectivity comes into play. Do you have what it takes to be able to become a star? And that meaning is, are you going to listen and learn? Are you going to work really hard, long hours? And are you going to take that subjective criticism from me and from the news director about how to improve? And if you can, then you've made it past a lot of people who've applied.
As media tools continue to emerge and evolve, achieving the right balance between traditional and new technology is a great challenge for industry professionals. Greater still is the ability for managers to retain individuals who possesses the drive and ability to stay abreast of these technological advances.
Personnel, I deal with probably 70% of my day. Personnel issues. It could be anything from somebody wanting to break a contract to a sexual harassment issue to what some may perceive as a racial issue, or it could really run the gamut. Raycom Media has, we have HR people here within the station and within the corporate level structure. When I run into issues, if I hear about things, I automatically know who I need to call. I have a support system with Raycom Media that, I'm not alone with a lot of the decision making when it comes to whether we fire somebody or hire somebody.
Because you can train almost anybody to do the job. But you want to have people that you can work with, and somebody who's not going to make everybody's life a living hell when they come to work. And so all of that plays a part in if I'm going to hire you as an air talent or as a production person and that kind of thing. Because if you don't get along with people and it makes managing everybody else that much harder if I got to concentrate on a knucklehead, or for the lack of a better word, a knucklehead.
Not all roads to digital media management lead executives in the same direction. A number of persons in managerial roles have come into positions of leadership through unconventional means.
Well, getting into radio, it started back in 1979, and I was a freshman at Jackson State, actually a sophomore at Jackson State University, when I was offered a job at WJMI. Took that job and working overnights on weekends. Eventually did an internship with the station as a news person, and in the course of doing news for WJMI, I was hired over at Kixie 107 to do mornings and news with then legend Hetty Herb Anderson, and so that was a big deal for me, and through that kind of learned the ins and outs of radio in general, and in management in particular. I worked probably 5 years as the news director, and that was a managerial position where I had people I had to bring in and work with as news reporters and that kind of thing.
Really, everything that I've done in this industry so far has kind of prepared me for that. From the lowly position of the associate producer, just determining how I'm going to write a story, from being a reporter and anchor of pitching stories and trying to figure out what stories are most important for the viewing audience from a reporter's standpoint. Being a producer and an executive producer is really having control over my shows and what is going to go into those shows that I think the audience is going to want to see. And really trial and error a lot of times, just making the wrong decisions, and making sure that those wrong decisions I made the first time, I don't make those same decisions again.
Since the environment of the industry has proven difficult for the development, now is the individuals charged with the daunting task tirelessly perform their duties in a way which allows we, the public consumer, to be informed and form opinions about what is going on in the world around us, and adaptation of a theoretical framework for the discipline media management will continue to be